Hey subs, welcome to my channel, Urban Jungle Reptiles. Check it out. Today we're going to meet George. George bought a real expensive gecko and a real expensive custom bioactive enclosure from us. But it wasn't that expensive because I'm affordable. We're going to meet George later in the video. But today, I just want to introduce myself. My name's Eric, and I own Urban Jungle Reptiles and Supplies here in Salem, Oregon. Hey guys, we're here with George. He's a great customer of mine. He bought a Lilly White from us, Crested Gecko, and he chose to do an amazing build. We do custom builds here. We want to just get the word out there. Yes, come in. We will build a biotope for your animal. So George here decided to go all out with the Bromeliads, the pothos, ton of other plants, lots of leaf litter, high-end isopods, orange springtails. We have those in stock. We'll continue to have those in stock. We know they're rare. We got them. We'll continue to have them. So I want to talk to George. George, you know, you came in here kind of cold. I never met you before, and you made a big purchase with us. Why did you do that?
Well, Eric, thank you for having me. The reasoning was just first when I came into the store, it was a very welcoming atmosphere, and it was clean. That's important to me because if you're not taking pride in your store, what are you doing with your animals? The store is extremely clean. I can't say that for every store I've been in before. The animals are all well taken care of. You have them in the proper enclosures. You have them in their native habitat. You can tell you care about your animals. And then you're extremely knowledgeable. Like you said,
thank you.
You know, you're welcome. I came in fairly cold. I have a friend that's been in the business before, so he's given me some information, but I could tell right away you're straightforward, telling me exactly how it is, and I appreciate that. And then the quality. I mean, the gecko, which you'll probably see in a few minutes, amazing. These Bromeliads here, some of the most excellent plants I've ever seen. The isotopes, everything's amazing. Real high quality. I just can't say enough how happy I am with the purchase.
Yeah, man. You know, George, I really appreciate you, dude. You're a really good customer. You guys come in about every 3 days. I wish I could say that about all my customers, but you know, I think you have a reptile dysfunction.
I do.
If I would say myself. So George chose some Pak Chongs here, or actually, pardon me, he chose Panda Kings. We originally were going to go Pak Chong. We chose Panda Kings because of the moisture of the enclosure. We have some Syngonium ransomeyi, pothos. Pothos is great in any enclosure. I mean, you're going Crested Gecko, you got to have pothos. A wide selection of Bromeliads. This guy chose, I mean, he went all out. We have everything that he's going to need. We have our own custom soil here. We have our Urban Jungle bioactive blend. Usually we have stickers on it, but we're waiting on them in the mail right now. This is a proprietary blend. It's microwave treated, so there's no chance of pests, this, that, the other. And I honestly think it'll give every other product out there a run for its money. Yeah, man, I just, it's great to have George here, and we want to show off this gecko a little bit. This is the Lilly White we have.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
I mean, it's just a gorgeous gecko. And he's a male, so he's going to make tons of gorgeous babies. And it sounds like George wants us to consign his babies in the future.
I do.
Yeah, man. We do that. So if you have high-end animals and they're healthy and clean, and you've purchased the parents from us, adults or parents, however you want to put that, we're willing to consign for you as long as we can inspect the animals, they have a clean bill of health. That's what we do. It's part of our business model here. We just want to provide the best for every animal and go all out. That's it. Simple as that. We want to keep it simple, keep it manageable, go all out, give the best for the animal, and provide for the animal the way it's provided in nature. And that's our motto here. Dad always said, keep it simple, stupid. That's what we're going to do. All right, hey subs, how's it going? This is Eric at Urban Jungle again. We're here talking about DIY backgrounds, the spray foam and dry lock method. So what you see here is close to a finished product. We need to highlight it and make it look real. And that's what we're going to do today. After we do that, I'm going to show you a couple products that'll help you and aid you in that process. Pretty soon we'll come out with an entire video. Today we're just basically building George's enclosure. It's our first video, etc., etc. And we're here trying to show you what's up. So, everybody uses dry lock. We use damp lock. Damp lock is a Rust-Oleum product. Damp lock is also non-toxic and animal safe once dry. We use damp lock, although it might be $2-3 more, because it dries harder, it dries faster, and it overall has a better look without the grit. So that's where we're at with that. So today we have this custom background, which we sprayed out first on Insul Foam DIY installation kit. These come in packs of 10. You can see I do lots of backgrounds. I'm sure you've seen the B-roll of our shop here in this video. There's only 3 sheets left. This does come in a thick pack of 10. Insul Foam, holler at your boy. I got you. After that, and we use spray foam. We use gaps and cracks of any brand, doesn't matter. It's all the same. What we don't use is black spray foam. Why? Because it costs an arm and a leg. Nobody wants to pay $12 for a can of spray foam. Pro tip, 3M regular gaps and cracks at Walmart. It actually is a denser product. Hard to beat, okay? So we cut this to fit. This here is actually for an enclosure here to the side. And it's custom fit. You measure the white, you spray a rim of spray foam and some big boulders. And remember, the more definition and texture you get on these guys, the better it is. Don't be cheap on the spray foam, which is also why we use 3M spray foam. We don't use gaps and cracks. It's more bang for your buck, and it's a harder product. Now we're past that. We're gonna do a whole video on the entire process of this soon, but George stopped in. We're doing his enclosure, we're doing a time lapse, so I just wanna go through that. So we have the styrofoam, spray the spray foam over it. We carve it, that's 2 and 3. And then 4 is we put a base color down. We use damp lock, and then we use QuickCrete, organic concrete pigment. Any organic concrete pigment works. I choose to use QuickCrete because it gives you a nice dark color. So here we are. We've got a planting pocket in here. George's enclosure is going to be super sick. Thanks, George. Appreciate you being in our video. Now we're going to highlight that. So with the white, do not go straight directly to the background. It does not work. Wipe the brush off gently. This stuff flings like you wouldn't believe. So you want to pat it down. It's called dry brushing for a reason. And then it's as simple as this. We just don't care. So we're gonna dab just a tiny bit. We're gonna rim it off. When we say dry brush, it's exactly what we mean. You do not want it wet. It's very thick paint. And then you simply do this as if you didn't care, and it looks the best. Now remember, this looks very bright. It'll dry much less bright than you think it will. And we're going over it with 2 or 3 more layers of darker colors, and it'll blend right in. Very simple. You remember Yan can cook? You can too. Just a little bit of that, and a little bit of this, and I'm going to show you. You'll be able to see this. This is the top of the background. You still need to make it look right. Same with the sides. It is what it is. By the way, shout out to Tanner. I learned this method from you. I just perfected it. So our key grip here, Gabe, is drying this with the heat gun. When this is all said and done, you're going to want to rinse it. There's going to be multiple layers of highlights or dry, oh, here we go. Dry brushing. You guys following me? Sweet. Okay. So Gabe's drying it here with the heat gun. It's going to take a minute or 2. You're going to do even passes from top to bottom and then side to side, right, Gabe? Awesome, dude. He's going to do a few passes. You don't want to concentrate heat on any of this. You just want general heat. You don't have a lot of dry, the damp lock on there. Dry lock is cool, works too, but we use damp lock and it's going to work the same. So he's going to do multiple passes, diagonal, side to side, up and down, this, that, the other, and here and there. And then once it's dry, we're going to let Gabe finish up, get it all dry, and then we're going to come back and show you how to re-highlight it with 2nd and 3rd colors. Thanks, guys. All right, folks. So here we are. I mix a little dry lock with some Quikrete concrete tint. It's organic pigment. Once it dries, it's completely non-toxic to your animals. And we custom mix the color here with buff. And then we also did brown. And this one seems to work great. And also, we did that on the base color with black. And we do basically half a bottle of black to half a gallon of tint. So, here we are. You have your chip brush. Don't ever waste a real paintbrush on this. The chip brush is where it's at. And we're gonna brush a little lighter on this one. And you can immediately see results on how much natural it looks. So the darker colors you always want to get here in the crevices. And it'll show much higher definition. So you're not going to carelessly, no careless whispers here. That's not what we're doing. But I promise you, the more you care about it, overall, the less natural it'll look. So there we go. There it is.
You gonna moonwalk in?
What up? Hey guys, this is Eric here at Urban Jungle. Today we're going to be building an 18 by 18 by 24 custom bioactive for George. You guys met George previously in the video, and let's begin. So here we have an Exoterra 18 by 18 by 24 enclosure, and we're going to be adding a drainage layer first, a carbon mesh screen layer. As part of the drainage layer, we're going to go with the background, and then plants or soil plants, etc., and we'll go from there. Alrighty. So first we're going to start by adding some lava rock. we're going to use some carbon mesh screen. Just basic carbon mesh screen. We cut it to fit, then we wash it, dry it out before we put it in the enclosure. We want everything to be nice and sterile. So just simply add that on top. I like to cut my screen a little bit bigger on the edges, as you'll see, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, just so no soil falls down in there. On the front, I only roll it over about 1/4 inch, as the soil will compact it and you don't see it. So it works out quite well, actually. So next, we're going to be adding the background. And to do that, we're going to take the light and the lid off. I have the light on for show purposes. We're going to set that aside just for a second. And we're going to add in the custom-made background. You've seen this highlight last night. It's all nice and dry and been rinsed. It's looking great, as you can see. Sometimes it's quite a bit of a tight fit, but I always pre-fit these guys before I install them. I like a nice tight fit so your animals aren't coming in able to escape and hide in the background all the time, because you want them, you know, you're building this beautiful ecosystem for them, you want to be able to see them. So the next step we're going to do, soil, Urban Jungle soil. So we have our own brand of soil that I custom developed. It's a blend that we sell, and quite frankly I can't keep in stock, so it's looking like we're going to be upgrading our soil production system. It consists of cocoa, sand, peat, and a couple other ingredients, one of them being charcoal. Charcoal is a really important ingredient. It's going to help with the smell, keep all your microfauna healthy, and just general health of the vivarium. You know, it's really where it's at. So we're going to open this guy, and I think today we're probably going to use all 4 1.5 gallon bags. So, the last bag of soil, or I like to save about 1/4 of all the soil that I'm using in the enclosure until after I get it planted, just so we have a nice layer of our custom blended soil to make those plants nice, healthy, and cozy. So we're going to hold that back, set it aside. This has been a planned out enclosure with a lot of features, plants, and stuff that we've discussed with George right from the beginning. So we want to stick in his parameters, if you will, but I've been given creative freedom to make it look awesome. That's what he wants. He respects it and he loves it, so that's where we're going. So here we have a pothos, just standard green pothos. Goes great, helps maintain humidity if you have a nice large section of it for the gecko, especially crested geckos. Does great in pretty much all vivariums that are tropical, so yeah, we're definitely going to go this route. We made a custom planting pocket, and it's up in here, and you'll see in a second that's how it's going to go. So let's go. So next, I think we're going to start playing with some wood. Wood is a must-have, obviously. Everybody loves wood in the enclosure. It really it makes everything pop, makes everything cool. And, you know, it's an element that's needed. It's present in nature, and it just makes everything better. So here we go. I've pre-selected some pieces. We'll probably have to trim them down a little bit, but I just didn't quite know how everything's going to fit in. And if I did my math here right, my measurements, I think everything's going to be nice. Next, we're going to plant. We've got some plants here. George picked out, so we're going to go ahead and put them in. So we're actually going to remove any perlite. We don't want perlite in any of our enclosures. So now remember, we have one more bag of soil that we're going to be adding, or at least a partial bag. So we want to make sure that we don't completely bury plants, because then when you add soil, your plant soil will just be, you know, half buried, and that's not what we want to do. Next, we've got a syngonium. This one happens to be of the pixie variety, so we're gonna actually add just a tad more soil and bring that layer up now that I've been messing with it and it's settled. Now, a lot of these smaller plants that we get in, we actually wash multiple times, hold them, and we place them in our soil already. So that way when you come to the store and you buy our soil and you're using it in your enclosure and you're building an enclosure, you don't have to do anything. You can just, basically as you would a fish tank, from fish tank to fish tank in your house. Plop and drop. Next plant we have here is peperomia. Nice big bushy plant. Another variety of syngonium. And actually we're going to plant this guy deep back in here. Syngonium ranitmei, one of my favorite plants. It's in almost every enclosure. Beautiful plant. Next, Chinese boxwood, or fox something or other. I forget, but we're going to plant it anyways. So next, we are going to start with some bromeliads. We have a bunch of different near regilia hybrids, etc., etc. And this thing's going to be stuffed full. This is quite the on-taking of bromeliads for this guy. So these ones have roots. Typically don't like to plant bromeliads unless they have roots. Sometimes we poke holes in backgrounds to get bromeliad stems in there, and they seem to root well on the walls, etc., etc. I just use my scissor end, and it's about the same, you know. Nice healthy roots on these guys. This one has a really nice pup on it. This one got stressed out a little bit. George still wanted it, so I gave him a discount on it. We were just going to pup it, but we decided that, or he decided that he wanted it. So here you get what you want. This is how it is. We're going to top off with some more soil, just to make sure the plants are all in there nice and tight. Very gently, we don't want to break any stems or leaves. On camera it probably looks like I'm roughing these guys up, but in actuality I'm being very gentle. We'll push the front down. Exoterra's patented ventilation system here. So we want to make sure that that's all nice and accessible and has airflow in there. So we don't get any crazy fungus or soil rot or etc., etc. in there. And we're on to the last bromeliad. This thing's jam-packed with bromeliads, so we want to make sure that it's not too full, honestly. Well, George, this one is pupping, so I'm sure you have another enclosure you can use it in, but sometimes knowing when enough is enough. and I don't want to taint the enclosure with overfilling it. So that's where we're at. So now we have some magnolia leaves. Nice sterile magnolia leaves that we've boiled and baked, parboiled for 60 seconds, and then we baked them at 250 degrees as we field collected these guys. Beautiful leaves though. Kills any pests, mites, etc. So there's a local teenager here. She came to me and approached me with a bunch of different products that she 3D prints. These happen to be gecko ledges that fit the 1 ounce or ½ ounce size cups. We love them. We sell a ton of them. So yeah, shout out to 3D Gex. Thanks for supplying us. This, oh, I forget to say, so this enclosure is actually getting 2 ledges. We're putting a sub-adult in there, so we want to make sure he can find food in this jungle here. So next, hygrometers. So we want to make sure with the crested gecko that our humidity stays stable and appropriate. So we want to be able to tell that. So we have this hygrometer here from Exoterra. It's a great product. I use them quite frequently. So now we're going to go back to lava rock. This has an island vibe to it from a New Caledonia gecko, or for a New Caledonia gecko, aka crested gecko. So we're going to add some lava rock accents. It's a great way to get that island vibe. Nice vibrant red, fresh, clean lava rock. Next is our terrarium thermometer. We're actually going to put it on the outside, back in the corner out of view, because they're not that aesthetically pleasing. So ta-da! I don't know. It's my first on-build camera. Thanks for bearing me through it. You know, I stumble, I stutter. I think eventually we'll get the hang of it, and we'll be doing these builds polished. We have the equipment, we have the know-how, we have the skill. We're more working on my camera presence. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, tell your friends. Come into the shop, 5385 Commercial Street, Salem, Oregon. Urban Jungle, bioactive supplies. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, we're here with Jorge's build. We just wrapped it up. We're gonna go ahead and add the cleanup crew. We have Cubara species, Panda Kings. These guys are awesome. People really love them. And we have our Springtails, and they're gonna handle the bioactive portion, cleanup portion of our enclosure that we built for George. So right now we're gonna add some Isopods here, real gentle like, with some moss. Those guys should be happy as clams in there with all that leaf litter, and then we're gonna do some Springtails. The Springtails should replicate themselves, as well as the Panda Kings, and his gecko will be happy as a clam in there. Thanks guys, we appreciate you stopping in. All right guys, thanks for tuning in to our first YouTube video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you like what we're doing. The videos are only gonna get better. This is the first one either of us have ever done. So visit us at urbanjunglereptiles.com. Sometime in the next 2 weeks, our website is launching. Also, more than welcome to come in and visit me with any questions you have, or to see the store at 5385 Commercial Street, Salem, Oregon, 97306. Night, guys. You want to do one more?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right. Are you lonely at night? The wink at the end?
Wink at the end is good.
All right, that's all you're getting, dog. Come on, Key. Come on, Key Grip. It's Hollywood, dog.
Here, the first time whoops, there he went.
That's all right. That's what geckos do. They jump.
Do.
Got it?
Okay, let's do one more. Let's do one more.
Oh, fuck, dude, that was hard.